In this lesson and the following lessons of this Photoshop section, I'm going to go over some of these tools up here that we haven't covered before. We've seen the crop tool and the hand tool, but pretty much that's it. I want to start out with removing blemishes, which is something you might be interested in. So say you have a portrait or any sort of image where someone has a pimple or there's a blemish that they want to get rid of. Now, I will say that usually I like to be very natural in my editing and I don't remove a lot of blemishes or, if there's a mole or a beauty mark, I like to leave those things in. But that being said, I know a lot of you want to learn how to remove blemishes. So say here this photo of Sam, he has this, I think it was a pimple that day. If we want to remove something like that, click on this brush right here, which is the spot removal brush, or press B on your keyboard. What happens over here on the right are the settings for this brush. So we can adjust the size by clicking and dragging to the left. You can adjust the feathering, which is sort of the edge, how it blends in. And you see two circles. The outside circle is that feathering, and the opacity. Usually I would recommend just leaving this at 100 for now. So I got the brush about the size of that pimple. Let's make the feathering a little bit smaller and actually make the whole brush a little bit smaller now. And what you do is you just click once or click and drag around the sort of blemish and then let Photoshop do the magic work. Right now it is set to heal, and you'll see that the red sort of pinpoint is where we clicked. The green pinpoint is what Photoshop is using to blend in to where we picked. So to show you what's actually happening, you can click and drag this green sort of spot to wherever you want to sort of use to blend. So if I put this in Sam's hair, this isn't going to look good because Photoshop is trying to blend his hair, the image of his hair, into that sort of blemish, which doesn't work. So what you want to do is find a part of the skin that looks similar to this area of the skin but without a blemish. So if I put it there, that looks a lot better. You'll notice over here that you have a heal brush and a clone brush. So a clone brush is similar. It just does a complete copy and paste basically into that spot instead of trying to sort of heal it or blend with it. So if I put this around his eye, for example, it's going to copy and paste his eye right there, which is a cool way to clone one part of your image to another, but it's not a good way to remove any blemishes. So I would use the heal brush. All right, so if you are happy with that, you can click off to another tool, or you can move around. I'm pressing the space bar to move around. And let's just say, okay, Sam doesn't really like this freckle up here, so we want to get rid of that. So let's just make our size smaller, click and drag around it, and it's disappeared. Pretty cool, right? The other tool I'll just mention while we're here is the red eye removal tool. What you would do is just click and drag over the eye, and it's going to process it and remove. Now, since we don't have red eye, it's not going to work, but if you need to make any adjustments, you can increase or decrease the pupil size here and also make it darker or brighter based off of if you still see the red eye. And so that's a quick tool that you don't really see much needing, but I just wanted to mention it here. So those are two spot and healing removal tools that I wanted to show you. We'll continue going through these tools in the next few lessons.